Alright, Gila, we gotta have a discussion on all these consistent L's you be taking, dog. You got a whole new demon form across 16 years of training, and you get one tap by Jericho. Jericho! Thank you to our father patron, Sinners Lancelot, Praise the Sun, Straw Bones, and Aaron. Now, before we get into this breakdown of Chapter 71 of Four Knights of the Apocalypse, please do me a favor, leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below, leave a like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure to hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. You can support for as low as $1 a month. It gets things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Now, let's hop into the review. What's up, guys? I'm the Pencil here, and here we are to review Chapter 71 of Four Knights of the Apocalypse, which is known as A Friend's Transformation. More like a friend's out. Like, Gila, I can't keep letting this slide. Like, truly, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I can't keep letting this slide. Enough of that. Let's hop right into the chapter itself. So we open up, and we do get to see that, obviously, things weren't looking too well at the end for Jericho, because she sort of got her whole mask blown off. Like, golly gee willikers, that thing literally exploded off her face, but she face tanked that, which honestly should have been an indication for how the rest of this chapter was going to go. However, we do see that with that being the case, Jericho's identity being revealed, our two super detectives in Kion and Jade are like, "Nani desu ka? Jericho, former member of..." I can't do that voice. That's very bad. But they're like, "Wow, wait, a former Holy Knight of the Kingdom." But if she's a former Kingdom Holy Knight and she taught Lancelot of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, she'd go crazy. Like, and to be fair, hearing that kind of reputation and after what Jericho did just do to them in particular, it would be pretty impressive to hear who she is. The interesting thing, actually, no, because Kion did say he recognized her. Kion did say he recognized her from when he was younger. So many questions about what, if you were there when you were younger, then you have to know Lancelot. And you have to know he's the GOAT. But regardless, we do see that while they're having this whole revelation about Jericho being Jericho, Jericho's like, golly gee willikers, I should have figured he would be one of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse. And yeah. You take, ironically enough, actually, now that I think about it, no, it's only a 50-50. Like, if you were to ask me if the son of the strongest demon and the strongest goddess to ever exist was going to be relevant in the future, yeah, you wouldn't really have any questions out of me about that one. In the same vein, I guess it may be a bit more questionable, but like, Bond is like the most unique human guy to ever human, combined with royal fairy blood. I think it would make sense that he's important. But then again, Percival and Gawain, Gawain is related to King Arthur in some way. Like, we're not sure if they're cousins, if he's her uncle or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Because we don't even know about her parents. She just said Gramps. Gramps always used to say I was the strongest. I think it was Gramps and Grandma. Yeah, it was both of them. So, no idea about her real lineage. But I guess her being related to King Arthur means something. So, I guess that's her important link. But then again, I feel like, well, no, King Arthur is directly chosen to be, yeah, okay, so King Arthur's bloodline makes sense. They're not going to be anyone, but then again, whatever. I guess Percival is the only one out of the knights that's like, golly gee willikers, King and Diane's kid will not grow up quick enough for her to be for them to be a relevant fighter. Oh well, gotta use this. Because I think, and if I'm being real, I think that's the sleeper reason why King and Diane's child wouldn't be one of the Four Knights. Because for all we know, with the rate that giants age at, she may still be a baby. Like, unironically. Remember, Diane, who, let me double check her age. Approximately 750, apparently. According to Nagava, Diane in the original series, which was only 16 years ago, was like, in human years, a bit younger than Elizabeth. And remember how long, like, 100 years or so, not 100 years, but remember in King and Diane's backstory, they met a young human dude, and then years upon years upon years passed, and they stayed the exact same age. Like, I don't think Diane literally aged at all. And it makes sense that King doesn't age, because... And that's the only weird variable about it, right? Because giants age really, really slowly. Which is why Diane stayed as a child for literally maybe around 100 years or so. So who knows how long it takes for, like, giant babies to age up to any sort of reasonable fighting form. But in that same vein, fairies are, like, born adults. Like, I don't think fairies grow up necessarily, which is why Lancelot's weird. But Lancelot, the reason he gets a pass for being weird is because he's the first fairy to not be born by the fairy tree, or a plant made by the fairy tree. He was born by human fairy copulation. Like, legitimately, he was born from a previous fairy in combination with a human, and humans have the shortest lifespan of all the races. The demons, who have the second shortest lifespan, live for around 10 times longer than humans at 1,000 years. So it would make sense that somewhere, somehow, some way. But then again, fairies are practically immortal. But I can write off Lance being 16. All right, I can write that off. Long story short, because born of a human and a fairy, and born in a non-conventional way. And who knows, Lance may still be immortal. We'll see. But the reason I can give King and... But then again, I guess the same case would apply to King and Diane's kid. They may just have a double slowed aging rate. Like, say, being born naturally, in the case of Lancelot, is the reason why he ages at a regular human pace. Maybe, since King gave birth, well, not King gave birth, Diane gave birth to a fairy giant hybrid, and giants already age slowly. And we know that, but then again, Lance is aging fast. Or, well, fast relative, but then again, fairies pop out fully born. Essentially, long story short, I wouldn't be shocked if King and Diane's child is, like, literally a toddler in fairy years. Or, like, whatever for giant years. That sounds so wrong. For giant. But whatever the case is, I think that may be why they're not a fourth knight of the apocalypse, because despite how important they are, obviously the child of the king of the fairies, the strongest king of the fairies ever exist, and the strongest, well, not, so the thing is, like, base Diana's fodder, but the queen of the giants and the king of the fairies having a kid would obviously be important, but due to giant aging and the fact that weird biology stuff, you can make an excuse for them not being combat ready at this age. They may be like a late term defender. I could see, really, that's the thing, Gawain and Percival are the only two knights of ours that I could see dying in a reasonably short period. Lance is living a long time. If he has even a fraction of a fairy royal's actual lifespan, he's living at least 1,000 years. Same with any, like, reasonably, you could argue that Tristan would have, unless he's human, but then again, he keeps getting classified as half goddess, so he could live at least a cool 1,000 years. King and Diane's kid is obviously, they're gonna live forever. They're gonna be the real immortal, because fairies and giants, like, have we ever heard of them dying of old age? Actually, like, Luxenia didn't die of old age. He would have just kept living. Droll just would have kept living. Yeah. I'm sorry, I went on a whole tangent just based on, like, Jericho talking about how Lance is a knight of the apocalypse. I may have to do a whole thing about, like, different biology, the ages. Then again, I need to do all the clans explain videos, so there's so many things we need to do. But regardless, we do get to see that with Jericho having this realization, she's like, well, if he's a Knight of Prophecy, he could probably show up at any second, because I know all 4 Knights of Prophecy are here. Gotta dip. And she lunges at Jericho. And notably, not Jericho, Jericho lunges at Gila. And Gila, I'm not exactly sure how Jericho did this. It's possible, like, we see 2 taps on the screen, or, like, in the panel where Jericho lunges. Gila seems to step back, but Jericho seems to get almost, I wouldn't, like, nigh on blitzed. Like, notably, Jericho is able to move from the spot where she was to the wall to behind Gila before Gila can complete a turn. And notably, she seems to be leaving some sort of ice trail in her wake, because suddenly Gila, who got absolutely outpaced here, finds her rapier stuck in the ice that Jericho made. Like, I guess it'd be like that. Would it be like that sometimes? I don't know. Interesting. And like, Gila, you have access to explosion magic. Just explode it. I mean, I get why she doesn't, because Jericho immediately goes to decapitate her. Like, I wonder, maybe it is possible, because what Gila gets told later on in the chapter seems to contradict this. I don't think, maybe Jericho was faking it here, or maybe she was just going for the execution here, because she does go on later in the chapter to say, like, hey, your sister in arms, I'm not gonna kill you, just let me do my thing. So I don't know, maybe this is meant to be normal. I'm not sure, because Jericho essentially gets her blade stuck in ice, and Jericho's like, I bet, and goes to decapitate her, but Gila backflips away and then lands, and now Jericho has access to a rapier. Meanwhile, Gila's weaponless. And as we know, if you ain't got a weapon in Seven Deadly Sins, you might as well be fodder. Like, no offense to any of the archangels, but y'all all kind of booty. Like y'all just lack it. Y'all are lacking in what you shouldn't be lacking in. Get you some weapons. Did Meliodas go without a weapon? No. Did Zeldris go without a weapon? No. Did Gawain go without a weapon? No. Did Fraudulent? Yeah. So did Grey Road. So did Melascula. Get them some conduits, bro. Maybe they would have actually been relevant then. No, I'm kidding. But we do get to see that with this being the case, obviously it seems like a lose-lose scenario. A lose-lose scenario for Jericho. Just kidding. Gila. Because with her lacking a weapon, Jericho obviously just proving that she's faster than Gila, and seemingly Gila's inability to use any of her magic appropriately in this time frame. Yeah, this is chalking this up as a fat meaty L for Gila, at least at this point. And it's to the point where Jericho gets so confident that she's literally just like commenting on aesthetics. Like, oh, well, that's some nice armor you got there. Bada bing, bada boom indeed. Was it a present from your precious little brother? And yeah, that is where the heart motif came from. I think I theorized it at the in chapter 70, but I didn't really rationalize it. I read that's this weird thing. Like, since I just blazed through the chapter, so I could be somewhat caught up for when I did the chapter 72 review. I didn't read in depth. These are, ironically enough, these reviews are my like super in depth breakdown everything, have a long discussion about it, in depth things, so I know everything for future chapters. So it is just kind of pretty much confirmed here that Zeal made this armor for Jericho, which is why it's so heart-based and heart-themed versus any explosion themes that Jericho mainly ties to. However, we do get to see that Gila's like, yeah, let me live with you real quick. Jericho, I get it. I completely understand. So I'm happy. But I don't really know what. Because 10 years ago, you dipped. You quit the Holy Knights of Leonis and went and became a Holy Knight of Bedwick. I ain't knocking your hustle, alright? You know, I almost followed Gother. But then I realized he mentally manipulated me, and those were probably leftover feelings from that. So I didn't do it. But you went there, got your dream job, working under your father Bond and Mama Elaine. So what's the dealio here? You were fully trusted, right? And with that being the case, what's with the Arthur stuff? Like, obviously Bond didn't send you here to do this mess. So what? Did Bond call you a bad girl or something? Did he give you negative affirmation after you messed up on a mission? And once again, hindsight is insanely 2020 on this one. Because, like, Jericho's like, oh, no, of course not. I'm not a kid. I wouldn't have just left because of that. But you left because of a kid. But regardless, we do get to see that Gila, and this is a nice thing I do know, these two, they've been in it since the beginning, ironically enough. Like, they were both new generation and spent a whole bunch of time together. So it would make sense that Gila would know exactly where to poke Jericho. Because he's like, oh, if it wasn't with Bond, something with Lancelot. And that does get under Jericho's skin. She looks sullen from that information. And, well, as we know, it was something with Lancelot. But, you know, we'll see. However, we see that Gila goes on to explain. And once again, I like that it's Gila doing this, right? Because she has her own little brother. So she would directly understand how Jericho may have felt about Lancelot in the good way. Like, oh, brother-sister relationship. Like, you saw him as a younger brother to take care of and support and raise and teach how to fight. So what happened? Like, you love him from the bottom of your heart. However, we see that Jericho's like, hey, the like button and subscribe button are free, but you're touching on a little bit of a nerve here. That's it. And then she swings with the ice blade. But I guess it's weird. I wonder, maybe this was, I'm not sure if this is like mind games and all set up, because Jericho does manage to dodge this. But who knows, once again. Now, I keep getting the names mixed up, and they are not similar. Gila does manage to dodge Jericho's swing. But, hey, if the speed displayed earlier was anything, she really shouldn't be able to. However, we do get to see that Jade and Kyan are like, well, you know, I'm reading a bit of Jujutsu Kaisen recently, and you know, I love the art of jumping. And they decide to try and jump Jericho. However, Kyan, broski, what the heck, man? He's like, alright, I guess there's no harm in saving someone like you. Or no harm, yeah. Wait, no, I guess there's no harm having someone owe you. Oh, I heard that completely differently. When I first read that, I thought Kyan was like, there's no harm in saving someone like you. Like, oh, you're not one of the four knights of the apocalypse. I don't have to execute you. But Kyan's just like, oh no. It's good to have someone in such high power owe me a great debt. Wonderful. Maybe they'll help me slaughter the four knights of the apocalypse. Kyan, ever the opportunist. However, we do get to see that Jericho is not playing no game, because she immediately throws up some ice pillars. So, and my ice manipulators out there, put Jericho on the list. However, we do get to see that Jericho's like, hey, I'm happy that you joined film theory and all, but I'm gonna need you to chill out and mind your business, because none of this matters. You cannot do anything to me, and you cannot stop me. I'm wielding your blade in my own. I'm simply built a bit different than you could ever imagine. And we see that Jericho's like, no one can understand how I feel. Nobody. And, yes, but we do get to see that Gila is ready to get struck down, but Jericho's like, hey, let me live with you real quick. You the homie, and as much as I love King Arthur, just can't get rid of my homies like that, so I'm gonna let you slide. And we see that Jericho, while she spares Gila, Gila's like, well, shoot, I wouldn't spare you. I got a mission, too. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get my get back right now. And then we cut back to Kyan and Jade behind the ice wall. And then we see in a tiny gap, Kyan notices that, yeah, Gila really made an empty threat. Like, no lie. Like, I would have let her... Is that scummy of me? Is that scummy? Well, to be fair, these guys are friends. I don't think, like, if our friend turned traitor on me, would I sneak shot them? Because like the moment Jericho walked by me, I would have been like, okay, you've won, and I would have immediately hit her with another drift bomb. Like, I would not have cared. That thing would have flown from my fingers so quickly. However, we do get to see that Gila did get one tapped. Like, freeze coffin immediately activated, and as Jericho clearly points out, which you can tell from the gap in speed earlier and the fact that Jericho was able to just steal Gila's blade, yeah, somehow, some way, probably due to a difference in training, due to a difference in abilities, or possibly just a difference in focus of their abilities, Gila gets one tapped. And we see that Jericho doesn't even have the common human decency to return the rapier. He's like, I like this one, I'm gonna keep it. However, with that being the case, Jericho now decides to sneak attack, because Jericho senses something, and then a ball of flame blazes past Jericho, and she's like, Nani desu desu ka? And we see the ball explode into a black flame, and notably, we find out that Gila says, you're not going to go any farther. I won't let you. And Jericho once again is like, Nani desu desu ka? That form. And Gila's now Demon Gila. And like, I'll admit, I do like the design. I'm not gonna lie, I do like the design. For some reason, the eyes they accentuate her massive forehead even more. Like, literally, Vegeta's hairline ain't that bad. Or his forehead ain't that fat. Like, golly, gee willikers, that thing is massive. But it is cool that she does maintain elements of the demon she got her blood from. A red demon. Those horns that come out of her head. Yeah, I was just calculating real quick. Yeah, those horns that come out of her head are red demon exclusive. Like, so it makes sense that she would turn into this sort of interesting hybrid, which does make me wonder, right? Like, can anyone else get amps like this? Please, like, Meliodas, start giving your blood to everybody. Call Gother up and have them do some manipulating, because come on now. However, it is cool to see that with this new form, Jericho essentially gets overwhelmed. Her ice magic may be strong, but it's not purgatory flame strong. And interesting, right? Like, Jade, I wonder, Meliodas everyone has to know, right? Like, this isn't, he ain't still hiding it, is he? Because Jade is like, what the, that form? Don't tell me Vice, Great Holy Knight, is a demon. And like, your king's a demon. The guy your group is named for is half demon. There's a demon under your bed. Like, there's demons everywhere. So I'm kind of shocked that Jade is so blown away that this is another time another demon is within the ranks. But, you know, I guess just in general, you may just assume Gila was human over the past 16 years. There's only finding out that she has a whole demon transformation. It may go crazy. However, we do get to see that Nakaba, just in case you forgot, Gila is in fact part of the New Generation project. And with the abilities of demons in New Gen Holy Knights, they did get amps, but amps that allows them to be controlled by Hendrickson. But with that being the case, they all went to Rampage. However, while Jericho tries to say, wait a minute, but like, Daddy Bond ripped out all the seeds. Like, there's no way you could still be a demon. And Jericho's like, right? And Gila goes on to say, kinda, but guess what? You had your sin that you fawned over, and I had a sin that fawned over me. So, thanks to Gother, I can use the magic power of the demons to suppress my rampages. Once again, does go into the whole thing that Tristan may have been alluding to with his own demon form. The whole idea that, hey, golly gee willikers, fellas, maybe, just maybe, it's an innate part of me to rampage. Like, if I stay in demon mode too long, we could go crazy. However, that's a very interesting point. Once again, I know demons are a species literally built for war. Like, fundamentally, I don't know how the supreme deity, I mean, they didn't, maybe they completely created them totally independently of each other. But considering the fact that both of them have humanoid variations of their respective species, I highly doubt that. But like, how did the supreme deity take one look at anything the Demon King was doing and it's like, yeah, I'm going to make most of my clan healers and non-combatants. And then I'll make 4 of them bloodlusted demon maniacs. However, to be fair, demons very specifically have a weakness to arc light magic. So the supreme deity was thinking a little bit ahead. However, we do get to see that with this being the case, the demon factor in Jericho's body being removed, but Gila's remaining. It's time. And obviously Jericho's like, okay, so you're still a demon, but you're still fodder. And she proceeds to launch Killer Iceberg. And with all these icicle spears, she's about to annihilate Jericho. I keep saying Jericho, Gila. She's about to annihilate Gila. But obviously Gila's like, let me level with you real quick. Have you ever played Pokemon? Because fire is super effective against ice. Bada bing, bada boom. She charges through Cloaked? We are not sponsored. Cloaked in Purgatory Flame. And manages to just tear through all the ice, steaming them just as they make contact. And she manages to land a cut on Jericho. And Jericho's blade falls. And she bleeding. And we do get to see that while her power is incredible, Jericho's hacks are better. Because bada bing, bada boom, the Purgatory Flame freezes. And with that being the case, Jericho's like, better luck next time, buddy. You tagged me. And now you're it. And we see that with that being the case, Gil's like, what? And she looks down in her hand and sees that it's starting to freeze. However, she then immediately lights it up with Purgatory Flame. but it does nothing. And with that, she begins to freeze up all the way. And notably, this is interesting. I wonder, because never once does she say Hellblaze, which we know is a stronger variation of the Purgatory Flame, which all demons have access to. So I wonder if Hellblaze could hypothetically melt Jericho's ice, or if Gila just had more power in her Purgatory Flame, she could melt Jericho's ice. Or if, like, that's it. Like, no matter what, if a demon, like, say Meliodas were to use Hellblaze on Jericho and then touch her and then try to, like, light it out or, like, light it up so it melts away, would he still be frozen anyway? I don't know. I'm intrigued. However, we do get to see that Jericho's like, well, if you're willing to stop me, then I gotta get you up out of here. And she proceeds to... Oh, that's cute. I didn't even realize. Notably, while they hear that Gila's life is in danger, Kyan actually did summon a little spirit art, and it's Salamander. And he's so cute. He's so cute. He's so tiny. However, we do get to see that someone tells them to stand back. And as Jericho goes to execute Gila, a big old burst of energy tears through the ice wall she made. And with that, we see a certain man standing there. And Jericho asks, why are you here? And the man responds, we're family, ain't we? And you know how we treat family where we come from. And that's the end of the chapter. So overall, I feel bad for Gila. Like, that, this is like the feel bad for Gila chapter. Like, wow, you really got a whole new power only for it to be invalidated. Literally, like, let's see, how quickly did it get invalidated? So she transforms at all on page 11, and then we see her full transformation, and then she touches Jericho and immediately gets negated by page 18. She gets a solid 7 pages before her power-up is rendered null. I just feel bad for, like, I feel bad for Gila. She gets done dirty. Like, she got done dirty by Gother. She's getting done dirty by this plot. She's gonna get done dirty by pretty much everything that ever happens, which is sad. Am I happy that we get to see that Jericho is in fact some sort of a threat, even against demon amped Holy Knights? Yes, that's great for Jericho, but unfortunately the greatness doesn't last for Jericho. However, overall, the chapter is pretty solid, I would say. Not the craziest, notably it's just because if you had to ask me which characters I'm really invested in, Jericho and Gila are not very high up on that list. And I'm not gonna lie, the negation of the power-up when it was seemingly very important, or at least going to be very important, I don't know. It's just not, something I just generally don't like in narratives. If you're gonna go out of your way to introduce a power-up, at least let it be relevant for a little bit, a tiny bit, a whiff of the narrative, before you will immediately shut it down. But Nakaba was like, 7. You get 7. Like the Deadly Sins, you get 7. And Gila got her 7. Are we ever gonna see this again? I highly doubt it. I don't know. I feel like we're gonna be so knight focused from this point on that if any non-4 knight character gets focused, it's going to be Tristan, Jade, not Tristan, Tristan is a knight, idiot. Tristan Platoon Squad, which is essentially Jade, Kion, and Isolde, and or Percy Squad, which is going to be Donnie and Ignacians. That's the only non-knight focus in terms of our protagonists that I think we're going to get. So I don't think we're really ever going to see Demon Gila be useful, unfortunately. But, you know, I believe that sometimes. However, those are my thoughts. Please tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. You support for as low as $1 a month. You can like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off.